Now let's get the management themselves. Amur S. Lakshmi Narayan, the Managing Director and CEO at Tata Communications, joins us now to talk about that. Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, thanks so much for joining us and speaking with us for the first time on the channel. I want to start by asking you about the accelerated growth that you expect, given that we've all entered into this digital world. In the last year, in FY20 is what I'm talking about, the revenue growth for the company was around 3.5%. Over the next couple of years, what are you targeting?
Thank you, Sonia. Thank you for having me on the channel. Good morning to all of you. We see immense potential for our business. So I think internally we talk about the digital transformation is all about data, applications, and connectivity. And for a long time, connectivity has been a poor cousin. Or a short leg in this three-legged stool of digital. And if you look at the market, and when I talk to the customers, as they go through the digital transformation, which is now immensely accelerating, people have begun to understand the importance of connectivity as they migrate to cloud, as they evolve their internet-first strategies. So we see a lot of potential for ourselves as a company that's transforming from product to platform in the data side of the business. And we have a variety of offerings, and we have revamped some of it and launched our secure connected digital experience in that space. So on the data side, there is a lot of upside. Of course, in the short run with COVID impact, one cannot say how things are going to pan out. But in the medium to long term, we are very, very bullish about the prospects for growth.
Okay. Mr. Lakshmi Narayan, good morning and thank you very much. You're speaking to a slightly lay audience, so technical IT and telecom terms may be difficult to follow. Rima, that's why we had Rima to kind of interpret this sector to us. Are you saying, therefore, that your capital expenses will be less, you will be asset light, and therefore your margins will improve? Is that what we should understand?
No, Lata, I think from a capex point of view, and again, as Rima said, we have our fiber running around the world, submarine cable as well as a lot of terrestrial fiber that we have, largely in India, but in other countries as well. We need to stay at it. So from a capex point of view, what we have said is the overall envelope of our capex spending will remain more or less the same as in the past years. We are putting a program in place to ensure that the capital allocation is a lot more sharper in terms of where we allocate into platforms, and bring the rigor internally to see how we are delivering more on an agile way on these platforms so that we can see the returns faster than before. So that is essentially one of the key initiatives. Second is, obviously, we need to get our operating model right. We are a company which has footprint across the world. The largest revenue comes from India, but international contributes to 60% of our revenues as well. So when we are serving a global enterprise, we need to get our operating model right, which is what we are adjusting our operating model to deliver the right customer experience, as well as look at where people are and which locations and so on, and get that right. And that is the effect that we have seen in the margin improvement in the last 2 quarters, and that will contribute to better cash flow and therefore improving our returns eventually.
Actually, even as you spoke, we were playing bar charts of your EBITDA margins, and that is the telling story. The way in which it has risen, most of the contribution has come from EBITDA and not revenue. But how will it be going forward? Are there more EBITDA gains, margin gains to make? How will the top line move as you are able to, sell more digital products?
Right. So as we focus on digital internally with our AI initiatives, obviously there are more gains to be had, but we have set ourselves in the long term a target of between 22 to 25% range. So clearly, we need to get our top line growing. And that is the focus. And as we mentioned and as Rima called out in the last quarter, we said that our pipelines are quite healthy. Now, in the current circumstances, there was slowness in the enterprises in terms of moving ahead with their transformation programs. But as we all know, some of the sporting events have started. I watched your, the IPL kickoff show. You wearing the yellow jersey, and we are proud to bring the IPL again this year in partnership with Star. So we are working with them.
Oh.
So some of these sporting events starting up again gives us a hope that the business activity and the enterprise activity would start again, and when it does, we are quite confident of our growth.
So 1 minute, this 20 to 25 that you said, is that your EBITDA margin that you're looking at, or is that the
Yes.
rate of growth of EBITDA, which also has grown by 20% if you look at
Yes.
Q4 and Q1? So which is what you're referring
So
to?
from a margin expansion perspective, in the short run, we said that we should expand faster, which is what you've seen the results. And, to long term, we are setting ourselves a goal of the EBITDA margins to be in that range of 20 to 25% or 22 to 25%.
Okay, you joined as CEO at I think one of the worst times in the history of managing businesses in November 2019. Post that, you saw this pandemic hit. So, as a leader, what's your vision? How long do you think it could take before things pick up? Before growth rates return, and how are you looking to sort of penetrate the market, increase your addressable market share? Any plan that you've outlined over the next 1 to 2 years?
Yeah, I think we are setting ourselves a fairly ambitious goals and targets, and we are calling out our new positioning in the market as a digital ecosystem enabler, right? So that's what we've called out. And if you look at some of our products and platforms, we see a lot of relevance in the market today. So purely around the SCDX or the Secure Connected Digital Experience umbrella that you see is very timely. We started this much before the COVID started, but it's become very timely. And there are multiple categories of solutions that we have there, and the work from home with our Zero Trust network offering with NetFoundry, that has accelerated quite a bit. The second category we are seeing is, most retailers are seeing that their footfall in the shops are decreasing, obviously, and they are reimagining how to bring the stores to home. And in that context, we are offering a more secure video collaboration, video commerce based on our platform. And that enables retailers to actually give a much superior experience to the consumers, with 4K video quality, much more secure. I'm talking about industrial strength security and industrial strength collaboration and video collaboration here. So that's another bucket of solutions that we see that we have already launched, and there are a few that will go live in the next few weeks. So those are examples of opportunities that are coming about. So as we said, I'm not sure if my timing of taking over is bad timing, but the acceleration that we see for cloud adoption, the acceleration we see on adoption of internet by enterprises will largely help us, is what I think.
Called it good timing. In any case, clearly, if this is a catalyst for the industry and for the company, that's good news. Thank you very much, Mr. Lakshminarayan, for joining us with the details of your vision for the company and the prospects for growth for Tata Telecommunications. Okay, that's a stock that has stood out in terms of performance, but standing out in terms of lack of performance is the market at this point in time, or maybe, it's performing on the downside. It's working for the bears. Yeah. So now we are seeing a little more of the top line, of the top-notch sell-off, the big